This is Brett with Azeroth 3 Discovering. There's a small issue with the audio at the beginning of this episode. For about the first minute, there's a little bit of an echo of Jess's microphone. That was due to my mistake. However, that ends after about 1 minute. The rest of the episode has no echo. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. This is Azeroth 3 Discovering. My name is Brett.
My name is Jess.
We are talking about World of Warcraft today. This is our third attempt at talking about World of Warcraft today. There were some issues with our other attempts, but I have a lot of confidence in this one.
Yep. Me too. Maybe. Man,
So enthusiastic.
I wanted to record so I could, he won't let me play WoW because we have to get caught up with the podcast. And,
Well, yeah, we gotta get caught up because we can't...
Well,
We'll get too far ahead. I know. We're gonna play WoW after this.
Well, no, because it'll be bedtime. I'm an old lady.
Well, that's fine. I'll play Heroes of the Storm after this then.
Maybe WoW for a minute.
It's a win-win for Brett.
And a lose-lose for me.
No, you get to go to bed.
Yeah, that's good. My heated blanket's on high. It's waiting for me.
Yeah, I have a heated blanket as well. I don't turn mine on and get so excited like Jess does, though.
Man, I turn that heated blanket on, and then I wait for it to get really hot, and then I get in, and it's just the best feeling ever in the whole world. My room is also easily, 60 degrees. It's free.
Yeah. I don't have such excitement because my room isn't really that cold, and I sleep fairly heavily clothed.
I don't. I can't.
Yeah. Guys, we're playing World of Warcraft. Not right now, but we do play it when we're not recording podcasts. And we are level 68. Can you believe that? We were just babies a month ago. We were level 1. It wasn't even a month ago. And now we are 68. That is a senior citizen. We could retire if we were 68 in real people years and not just levels. 68, Jess. 68 is special. And just like you may not have known why 58 is special, 68 is only kind of special. It's more like 70 special. But 68 is special. 68's the new 70. No, 68's the new... What am I trying to say?
I don't
know.
know.
What level are we? Are we 78? Yeah, we're 78. We're not 78? What level are we? We're 68.
We're 60.
I'm so confused. Okay,
We're
we
off to a good start on a new episode, Brett.
Yes, this on try 3, we are doing so well. We are 68 years old. We are 68 levels old. And we are heading to Northrend. This is a big deal because this is the second World of Warcraft expansion. That is called Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
Jess, Wrath of the Lich King is about Arthas and Arthas becoming evil. And in Warcraft 3, Arthas killed Uther.
Uther, I know that name.
Yeah, Uther is the paladin from
He's the
that card game. Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Uther. Yeah. Also being introduced is a talent called, this is a secondary profession called archaeology. We did a little bit of archaeology, because even though I've played through Wrath of the Lich King, I didn't really know what the hell archaeology was. And we did a little bit of archaeology in, where were we when we did it? Hillsbrad, I think? So we went down to Hillsbrad to check on a Feast of Winter Veil quest. And sorry, Jess, if I cut you off. Sometimes your audio is kind of breaking up. But we went down to Hillsbrad and we did some archaeology. Tell me about this archaeology, Jess.
And it was... Maybe it'll get cooler. We've only been able to do it one time since we learned it. What did we do? Did we pick it up? We reached the ability to... I don't know. But we have only found one patch of land that we were able to do this in. And it what did I have to do? I think you and I had to do two different things, kind of. I don't really remember, but I had to follow. I had like a little telescope, and when I would click, it would point in a direction, and then I would walk like 20 feet and click again and see which way the telescope was pointing, and eventually, like, I would click and something would pop up, and I could go, use that or pick up that item or whatever, and I had to get 5 things before like that section of archaeology was maxed out for me. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
Yes, there was 5 or 6, and you'd throw your telescope down, and it would point in a direction. You'd head that way. You throw your telescope down again, or you do the survey action, and then it would point a different direction. And you keep doing it until you kind of like narrowed it down to this very tiny area, and then once you surveyed in that area, you would be able to get up or find the thing. Now I'm looking at the rewards for surveying, and I'm not very impressed. It just does not seem like something that is worth the time. I can't quite find. There's a mount that is obtainable through archaeology, but even that is pretty. This would be pretty low on my priority list.
Yeah, and like
there's a couple weapons.
Like I said, it hasn't really presented itself that often to us. It's certainly, even the one time we did find it, it wasn't like really on our way to anything. We kind of had to go out of our way to get to that area, so it's not convenient yet. It hasn't been. That's not to say that it won't become better or more fun or more, like there won't be better incentives to do it, but right now it hasn't really proven to be exciting to me.
No, but maybe sometime it'll change its ways. Archaeology is not very exciting. Let's talk about Northrend.
Well,
yay! So we're out of Outlands. We're out of Outlands, and we're heading back to Azeroth, and we're heading to a new continent that has appeared at the top of the map, of the world map, and that continent is called Northrend. Northrend. Let me tell you about Northrend. Actually, let me just read you the WoW wiki on Northrend. It's a northern, icy continent in the world of Azeroth, and the source of the evil scourge. It is also the home of Icecrown Citadel, the seat of the malevolent Lich. The continent is featured in World of Warcraft expansion, World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. And then we see Arthas sitting on his throne looking very, very cool with his skull armor and his long hair and his Frostmourne, and everything's blue and dead. He's a cool guy. So, when you enter Northrend, you can enter at 68. You used to have to be... I don't know if you actually had to be 80 to get into Northrend, but, I'm sorry, I don't know if you actually had to be 70 to get into Northrend. But most people were maximum level when they went into Northrend because they've been playing through the Burning Crusade. But at 68, you can now go in there. So at 68, we left Nagrand and Outlands, and we headed to the Borean Tundra. You can either head into the Borean Tundra or the Howling Fjord. Howling Fjord is a grassy area, whereas the Borean Tundra is it's kind of a frozen. It's not all frozen, but it's pretty barren. It's a tundra, so there's not a lot going on. Yeah.
Hilarious.
So you arrive via Zeppelin to Warsong Hold, and we immediately see Garrosh Hellscream.
I know him too.
Yep, there's a lot of big character names are showing their face, and he's down in Warsong Hold, and he has some quests for us. There are many quests, and there's this battle that is going on outside of Warsong Hold. Jess, do you want to talk about what's going on in Warsong Hold?
Well, when we walked in, there were quests everywhere. We could see them. There were just so many, and we ran around it. Thank you for the sound effects.
You're welcome.
We ran around, and I mean, we just picked up everything we could, and without any real rhyme or reason, and then we just kind of planned out a little bit of an order. There was the first thing that we did, we went to Rosgore, and he gave us two quests. One was called Taking Back Mindstone Quarry, and the other one was called Cutting Off the Source. Taking Back Mightstone Quarry, sorry. He wanted us to kill 15 Nerubians.
Yeah.
Nerubians. We had to just kill 15 of them. The other quest he gave us that we were doing simultaneously was Cutting Off the Source. He needed us to destroy 10 Nerubar egg sacs. So, the Nerubars were like spider bugs.
Yeah, they're like locusts, like big beetles.
Yeah, and then their egg sacs were just around, and I'm kind of at an advantage over Brett because as a druid, I can stay on my flying mount, destroy, it's just, I don't have to fight the egg sacs, I just have to, right click on it, and it kind of does this little gear thing, and but I don't have to dismount for that. And if I end up in combat, I can just hit space, go up, and be out of combat, and so I get it done much quicker than him. And I kind of like to give him a hard time about that because he's oftentimes waiting on me. But when we have these things where we just have to gather or pick up or whatever items, I tend to find them much quicker than he does and be able to gather.
She does. That is all true. I did want to note that Taking Back Mightstone Quarry is the first quest he gives, or maybe the second quest, and then it's Cutting Off the Source. So you're kind of doing things. You have to do the Taking Back, and then you can do the Cutting Off the Source.
Did I misremember that?
But while you're doing Taking Back the Mightstone Quarry, you're probably also doing something like Patience is the Virtue We Don't Need, which is another quest where we are gathering Warsong munitions. And these are just boxes. So same thing, pretty much like the eggs. You can just go around, right-click these. So this is something that druids can do very quickly because they do not have to leave their travel form. Bury Those Cockroaches is another one out of Warsong Hold. So in this one we had the this one was cool because we had the Sephorium Death Charge bundles, and this was a quest item we would use on these holes. There was a south, east, west, and north hole, and you had to go and put your bomb down on each one of these, and you had to stay kind of close because if you didn't, it wouldn't count. You wouldn't get credit for it. But if you were too close, it would blow you up and you could go flying in the air. I don't really think you took much damage though.
No,
so,
you didn't.
Yeah.
And this, the Bury Those Cockroaches and the Patience is a Virtue that you mentioned just a minute ago, those are both given to us by Quartermaster Holgoth. So that was a couple. We had guys that we had to see multiple times, and Raisgore and Quartermaster Holgoth were a couple of them.
Yeah, you kind of kept going back, or you had to go to people that were very, very close nearby, and these quests were very easy to do because they were immediately outside of Warsong Hold, so you could really power through quests here. There's another one called Taken by the Scourge, where we had to free some Warsong peons. They were right outside, again, Warsong Hold, just like I said, and you just had to right-click on the web and free them. You only needed 5, which is pretty easy to get, and it's not like you were just out. It's not like you were just out doing these. You were doing multiple things, and there was this battle going on with all this. It was just very busy outside of Warsong Hold, and I didn't really like how busy it was. Like, they only gave you like a fraction of normal experience because there were so many things that if they made them all like a normal powered enemy, people would die very often. And we can't have WoW being difficult because that's not how WoW is allowed to be. So
he's really sensitive about how easy it has become, I've noticed.
Well, back in my day.
You often reference this this other era that is so difficult. I don't know why people played it if it was that hard.
It's not so difficult. It's just that now it is so easy. So we have another one called Untold Truth. Untold Truths. And that has us heading out of... we're heading just outside of Warsong Hold once again. However, still not too very far. We're looking for, looks like Shadowstalker Luther, which he is a dead, undead body that is lying there, and he is green.
Yeah.
So you complete that quest by right-clicking on him, and he's holding a journal, and you take that journal back to the quest giver that gave you that quest to go find him. He also said something funny when I went to give him the quest that I really liked. So Shadowstalker Icarus is his name, and he said, if I still had a jaw, it would be on the floor right now. And one of the undead character models, at least for a male, I don't know if a female can do it, but you can just straight up have their jaw off. So it's just their tongue hanging out. And he has that model. Because after I noticed he said that, I checked, I zoomed in on his model, and he does have that.
That's
so I'm glad they
funny.
paid attention to that detail. Because that would have been such a waste if they did not.
That is.
You want to talk about...
I didn't
the
know
next-
why that was so funny to you, and you never did explain it to me. So I just learned that with our listeners, and that makes more sense to me now.
Yeah, it's just a little... I like little jokes. I'm sure there's plenty of jokes that I miss out on because I'm just rapidly clicking through my quest and accepting and completing and
Yeah,
getting
man.
all the XP as
Tell
quick
me
as
all
possible.
about it.
You actually go a little bit quicker when you turn in quests. I've been reading them a little bit more lately. Merciful Freedom is a quest. Let's see. Are we getting out of order here? Nope. There's
Nope,
Merciful.
still good.
Yep, we're still good. Merciful Freedom is a quest. And now we have to free Scourge prisoners. And these are cool because this actually takes place, looks like, on the northwest of Warsong Hold. And there is this farmland up there that is a quest hub, and you have to kill these mobs in order to get a key to unlock these cages. The mobs are like Scourge. The mobs you're killing are like I think they're like the skeleton like casters. Does that sound right?
It does. It does.
Yeah, the Necrolords. The Ankilla Necrolords.
Yeah.
They have the
They have
keys.
like little bandanas on, and yeah.
Yeah, the Warsong Aberrations have them.
Yeah, so they're in like they're kind of guarded. You have to free 5 prisoners, and they have people around them you have to kill, and then they think it's a good feel-good quest.
Yeah, I like these quests that you need to... It's kind of like a 2-part quest. Like, you need to kill something and loot a resource, and then use that resource
Yeah.
on another object. If for some reason that's like more satisfying to me than just doing one or the other.
Well, it makes it feel more more worth your time. Like, it makes you feel like you're being really productive. Oh, well, it does me. I don't know if it does for you, but it makes me feel like I'm being extra productive with my time spent.
Sure. So we're heading up to... Let's see. I don't want to get too out of order here. There's Riplash Strand, which is a part of... That is that coastal area that we... That is the coastal area that we went into the fog. And
Yeah.
we were doing quests killing some things there.
I did not like this part. I did not like that fog.
Yeah, it was it was difficult because you would like phase out if you went into the fog. It was kind of a weird area, and I think they meant to make it a kind of weird area. Also, right here we see our first Tuskar, which a Tuskar is a humanoid walrus. Probably most made famous from the Tuskar Totemic. He is a Hearthstone card that used to be very, very powerful. I believe he has since been nerfed a little bit. But he kind of has the infamous "Did you bring me some fish?" soundbite. So we also have Mobu's pneumatic transjiggermarig is something we have to find. There's a goblin down there that is very upset he has to be there.
I'm so glad that you didn't make me introduce that quest.
Yeah. So all this is you're running around and it's in a building. It's pretty basic. You're just kind of doing some other things while you're looking for this. You're killing some of these undead. They're like sea. They're almost like sea. They're not giants, but they're tall. They're very tall, like waterlogged people, right? Like monsters from the sea. They remind me of like Davy Jones or something.
No, that's not what those look like at all. These aren't people. The transjiggermarig is what it looks like. What it sounds like.
The transjiggermarig was just an item that you clicked on. There's a picture of it.
Yeah, that's what he wants us to recover. That's what we're doing.
Right. And I'm saying, and I'm saying while you're getting that, you're out fighting.
I lost you. I'm sorry. I'm really sick. I'm kind of medicated. I took NyQuil. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just
that's
for people listening. I'm not completely dumb. I just kind of lost what we were talking about.
So, there's also another quest, the Plains of Nasam, or Nazam. This one was cool. Jess, I think you like this one.
I did.
Yeah, you wanna talk about this one?
Yeah. So we got to be in a tank. This was to use the tank to destroy Scourge soldiers, and then rescue 3 injured soldiers. And you had to kill 100 of them. So it was a pretty. I mean, it sounds much bigger than it is because you kill multiple at a time. But it's pretty cool. You get to be in this little. If you could see me, I'm driving a cart, a chair. But you get to drive this thing around and shoot enemies.
It's a tank.
Yeah. It doesn't look like an army tank though. It looks like a tank in World of Warcraft. So don't get confused because it's very colorful and not at all camouflaged like a tank should be.
No, it is colors of the Horde, like it should be, and wooden and spiky.
Probably, if I had to guess, it's not very efficient, but that's just me.
You have mini weapons that you can use on this thing, and
it gives you its own like 1 through 5. I like the quests that do that give you like specific abilities for the thing that you're using. I like that. I just encountered a really fun one in my shaman that was to this. Very, very similar to this, actually.
Yeah, so you have your one that can launch a catapult. That's on a pretty low cooldown. You have your 2 that throws out mines all around your vehicle. Your 3, I believe, is a melee kind of pushy thing. And then your 4 is I think it's called the meat pounder. And that's like your big thing that you can just charge into people, and I think it will also I think it's on a large cooldown, so you can't keep using it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the meat pounder is like the strongest ability out of the bunch. It's if you really get stuck, it could just like destroys everything.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this, but I'm reading the quest description again, and it's saying one last thing: fuel tanks can be found all over the field. So I'm guessing fuel tanks would be like health. Like, it would just refill your tanks. You got a little green bar for your tank's health. Because I think Jess's tank ended up getting destroyed.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah, and she had to run away, but I think we ended up making it out alive. Because it's kind of scary if it gets destroyed out there, because there are hundreds of Scourge. So you would die instantly if you were not in this tank. This was a really cool quest, and I'm glad that we did it. Let's see, what else are we doing? Let's see. There was another quest called the Emissary, and we had to kill a large Leviathan, and I was like, cool, there's a 72 elite, I found him. And then I saw that we have this quest item, and then we use it, and he shrinks down to like, I don't know, a fourth of his health. And I was just thinking, why can't they just make that a group quest? And why can't they just, require 2 people for that and just kill the elite at its normal health? Why do we have to shrink it down and make it super easy so that anyone can solo it? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you said that out loud to me.
Yeah. This other one, Cruelty of the...
No idea.
Valdir? I'm gonna assume that K is silent. Kill the guy for the trident. And, this was funny because... So we get this quest and we have the area of where this person is. And we're on our flying mount. And we fly to it and he's right there. Well, he's at the top of this tower. And... You didn't used to have your flying mount so early. So we just kind of went in through this window of the tower, got right on him, killed him and his 2 little guards, and then just flew out. Looted him and then just flew out. And I'm pretty certain, if I remember correctly, you had to kind of go through a lot of guards to get to him. You had to kill a lot of trash mobs to get up to the named guy. But since we had flying mounts... early.
We just flew in the window.
Yeah, we just flew in the window and backdoored this quest, and then just left. So that was, I'm pretty sure that's how it used to work. And I thought that was kind of funny because it's just like that quest to get the eggs in the tree from
last week's episode.
Yeah, we just were able to fly right up there. We also had, we missed, before we get on to this next quest, Jess, there is something I wanted to go back because we missed one that I wanted to talk about that was also up at the farm, and that was called Bring 'em Back Alive. We had to revive Kodos. There were these sickly, plagued Kodos out in the farm fields, and the quest was to go out, use your item on them, and then... ride them back and hop off of them.
We had to do that 8 times.
Yes, and I actually had to do that 16 times because there's a timer on it. And I completed it, but I didn't turn it in because I think I wanted to wait till everything was turned in. Or everything was able to be turned in, and I was doing something else too, so I didn't turn it in even though it was completed, and then it ended up failing.
Yeah, it had a 10-minute timer that you had to get it done in. And I remember, because I had left the room and I had you on follow and you were doing stuff, and I came back, you were like, I finished this, but we failed it. You had to do it all over again. And for some reason, I was super stressed out that we weren't going to be able to get this done in 10 minutes. But it took 3.
Well, yeah, especially with both of us doing it.
Yeah.
Because they both count, so it was really we only needed 5. Let's see, 4?
Yeah, we
4?
had to get 8 of them.
Oh, okay. So, just you want to talk about this last one we kind of just stumbled upon?
The moth?
The massive moth.
The massive moth. We had to take a massive glowing egg to Blood Mage Lorith at the Bloodspore Plains in the Borean Tundra.
That was wonderful.
That's a lot of words.
And your vocabulary test is over for the week.
These are hard words to say when you're on NyQuil. So this quest is very large, or not the quest, the egg. The egg is a massive egg that belonged to this massive moth. Omelet? Is this really like a breakfast omelet?
It's asking. It has a question mark. It doesn't know.
I don't know either. I didn't get the answer. Anyway, so we had to go collect it and take it to the Blood Mage. And upon completion, we got a pretty decent amount of XP. It was a pretty simple quest. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, it was 39,000 XP, I think.
It says 10,950. But I remembered it being much larger as well.
Yeah, it was. And
because I remember the conversation where you're like, why would somebody not do this for a free 40,000 XP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with our XP modifications, too. Because
our party...
We have Refer a Friend, and then we also have a bonus of 20% from our heirlooms. So that's something to consider, too. let's see. I don't know that we have any more to talk about as far as it goes for the Borean Tundra. Just, is there anything you wanted to add? Obviously we don't hit every quest.
No. We did that all. That was one evening's worth of gameplay. I think we did that maybe on a Sunday afternoon. I don't know. But we played that for a while. We did all of that, and like, the longer I'm playing, the more confident I feel, and I'm getting to a part where I'm super enjoying the game, and that's exciting to me because I lose interest very, very quickly in video games, or like even like apps on my phone, which are video games to me but not to Brett. They just don't hold my attention. I don't care about them, and I'm really impressed that I'm still playing this game, to be honest. I don't know if, like, for a little while I was like, oh my god, we started this podcast, I'm gonna get so tired of this game, and then I'm gonna be stuck because we have a podcast, but, like, I find that I want to play it more than Brett. Like, I want to play it, like, all day long. I want to play it, so it's getting cool, and I especially like that I kind of know what I'm doing now.
Yeah, next week we are heading to Dragonblight, specifically Venom Spite, which I'm very excited to talk about, because I do love the undead areas, and this is an undead area, and I am excited to talk about Venom Spite. That's what I'm going to leave it at, so I don't spoil next week's episode. But we are level, what are we, probably about 74 here?
Yep.
Yeah, so Warsong Hold got us about 6 levels. It was pretty intense. Pretty intense XP in Warsong Hold and their little farm outside of Warsong Hold. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, we are at @rediscovering. If you want to email us, we are azeroth3discovering@gmail.com. And if you want to find us on Facebook, we are Azeroth3discovering. I'll probably say Facebook is the best way to get in contact. That is what is checked most often. Though I will see anything else that you post or that you contact us with. We are on Google Play, iTunes, and
Stitcher.
Stitcher, yep. So check us out on those things.
We also have a couple Twitch channels.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Bretticles, Twitch.tv/CoopTroop, maybe an X, maybe not, I don't remember, look for both.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
You. Okay. Yeah, I stream when I get the feeling for it. I don't have a set schedule because
Me
I don't
either.
like
I think
commitments.
I've streamed twice.
Yeah, I've done many more, but I have the equivalency of I have as many views as a twice streamed person should have. So it's like I've only streamed twice.
Yeah, well, all of his views are me.
That's it for today's episode. We will see you next time in Dragonblight.
See ya.
See ya.